All right. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for allowing me to come in and kind of talk to you about this exciting travel opportunity for next summer. I'm Amanda, and I'm with Brecky Tours, and we are fortunate to be working with you guys on planning a great trip to Norway. So again, my name is Amanda Hancock, and on behalf of Brecky Tours, I look forward to introducing you to our own favorite corner of the world, Scandinavia. So, for those of you that are wondering about our connection to Scandinavia, Brecky Tours was founded in 1956 when Arnie Brecky, a student from Norway, worked his way through graduate school in America by conducting summer tours in Europe. We are a family owned company located in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Brecky Tours offers a wide variety of products and services, such as our own escorted tours, independent travel packages, customized tours for individuals, families, and groups, heritage travel, and cruises. And our goal here at Brecky Tours is simply to strengthen the cultural and ethnic ties between North America and Scandinavia by creating meaningful travel experiences. So why choose Brecky Tours? Why travel with us? First and foremost, we are a full service Scandinavian specialist. We have over 70 years of experience in travel within Scandinavia. We travel to our destinations on our tours so that we can assist our clients with their vacations. Our escorted tours feature destinations you won't find on other tours, and you won't find our tours anywhere else. Both our escorted tours and independent travel packages can be customized with side trips to visit areas of heritage, add a pre or post tour extension, and if we can't make that work, we can create a completely customized travel itinerary just for you. Now, while on our escorted tours, you won't have to worry about additional expenses for tours or sightseeing activities. What you see on the itinerary is what is included. And finally, when you travel with Brecky Tours, you can be sure that you will be treated as a valued client, not just another body in a seat. Our goal is to make your travel experience meaningful, which means providing you with excellent customer service from the first phone call till you return home from your trip. So, why travel on an escorted tour? Probably the number one reason is that it's a worry free vacation. You can just sit back and relax. Someone else will do all the driving and the luggage handling. Our escorted tours include transportation, first class hotels, most meals, and an array of activities and experiences. You'll also have a knowledgeable and professional guide along to enhance and enrich your vacation by providing cultural information about the country and the sites you are visiting, as well as handling all of the little details. An escorted tour is perfect for the seasoned traveler as well as those that are traveling outside the US for the first time. Now, most of our tours do involve a bit of walking each day, and this one is no exception. And with that being said, if you do have mobility issues, please call our office and talk to one of our agents. We can help ease your concerns and make recommendations based on your activity level. And we do allow free time in larger cities such as Oslo and Bergen so that people can pursue their own interests. And one of the questions that we get asked a lot is who will be my tour guide or my tour director? We actually have two different ones. So your tour director will typically meet the group arrive at the arriving airport within Scandinavia, and they will stay with you until you depart, whether it be in Bergen or Oslo. Our tour directors hail from the US as well as Scandinavia, and English is the only language on our tours. However, we do try to throw in a little bit of the local language so that those that are inclined can learn some new words and phrases. We also have local guides that will join the group for short periods of time. These are there to provide detailed information about a city, museum, or historical site. And if you're unsure where you will be staying while on tour, not to worry, all of the hotels included on our escorted tours are first class or superior tourist class hotels. These hotels are usually found in the heart of major cities, within walking distance to main attractions, so that during your free time you will be perfectly located to explore on your own. Now, in the countryside, we tend to use hotels along the fjords, situated in the mountains, which are ideal for hiking and relaxing in. And many of the hotels we frequent are historic properties with an interesting history. So, whether they served as a German headquarters during World War II or were transitioned from a warehouse into beautiful waterside properties, all of the hotels used will have a private bathroom with a shower or a tub. You'll also enjoy a Scandinavian breakfast buffet every morning while on tour. And some hotels offer additional amenities such as swimming pools or guest laundry facilities, which provides a nice opportunity to freshen up your clothes while traveling. Now, while traveling on an escorted tour, you'll primarily get around by a first class motor coach. Whether you're traveling on one of our larger buses, which is probably what you guys will be using, you will travel in comfort. You'll have large windows, reclining seats with footrests, as well as personal controls for the AC. So you can just sit back and let your professional driver get you from point A to point B. And we'll also have some cruises along the fjords and waters of Scandinavia. Now, to give you just kind of a short summary of what a typical day might look like while on tour, I just wanted to go over this really quickly. So, you'll start with a breakfast buffet at the hotel, and the group will typically depart between 8 to 9, depending on what is scheduled for that day. And then we do include several stops throughout the day for food, bathroom breaks, and activities. And you'll usually spend at most about 2 hours at a time on the bus. Now, on board the bus, the tour director will keep the group entertained with information, songs, language lessons, and more. And then the group will arrive at the hotel in the evening, and usually there is time for a walk, relaxation, or even a swim before dinner. Now, before the group goes their separate ways in the evening, the tour director will advise of the departure time for the next day. So now that we've kind of just gone over some general information about who we are and what you might expect on some of our typical escorted tours, we're going to turn our attention now to the tour that, of course, you guys are all interested in. And please note, I just want to kind of just frame this out that we do have some activities and visits that aren't quite confirmed yet. So the itinerary may change just a little bit from what I described today, but we just wanted to kind of give you an overview of what you might expect when traveling with us next summer. And first off, this is a 12-day tour that will take you from Norway's capital city of Oslo through the Valdres and Hallingdal, the fjord country, and finally to Bergen. Along the way, you'll experience a variety of museums, churches, and of course, Norway's fantastic scenery. Now, you'll depart the US on July 24th and arrive in Oslo on July 25th. You'll then spend 2 nights in Oslo and enjoy a city tour before you head to Fagernes. Now, on day 4, your group will set off for Ottestad, and here you'll visit the Norwegian Immigration Museum, which is the only national museum in Norway dedicated to researching and documenting Norwegian immigration to all parts of the world. It's a great place to learn why and how Norwegians have moved abroad over time, and how this has affected both Norway and the places they have traveled to. And then after lunch, you'll continue to Fagernes, which is nestled in the heart of the Valdres region. Now, during the 2 full days in Fagernes, there will be several visits planned, including a stone church built around 1200, a stave church, and of course, the Valdres Folk Museum. The Valdres Folk Museum is well known for their collection of bunads as well as folk music and instruments. We'll also have some free time for anyone that wishes to visit family heritage sites in the area. Now, on July 30th, we'll depart Fagernes and head to Hallingdal. And one of the highlights for this day will be a visit to Torpo Stave Church, which is the oldest building within the traditional district of Hallingdal. We'll also visit Ole, where you can enjoy some time to shop, eat lunch, or visit the cultural museum. And then at the end of the day, we'll travel to Gul, where you'll spend the next 3 nights. And of course, Saturday, July 31st is no doubt going to be the most loved day of this tour. And you'll start with a drive to Hull, where you'll have the day to participate in Holsdagen. And I'm sure you guys are probably aware, but for anyone unfamiliar with Holsdagen, this is an annual heritage celebration held every year since 1957, honoring the traditional 19th century rural wedding. And the day will feature historic wedding ceremony, horse-drawn bridal procession along the Holsfjorden, traditional folk music, and local dancing. And after a day filled with music, food, and activities, you'll return to Goal for an overnight at the hotel. Now, the next day begins with the drive to Nesbyen, and here you will visit the Hallingdal Folk Museum, and it's one of the oldest museums in Norway. It was founded in 1899, and the museum houses 30 historic buildings and 30,000 objects from the area. The museum preserves cultural history from the Middle Ages to the present, with a focus on rural and industrial life in the 18th and 19th centuries. And then after lunch, you'll return to Goole, where the rest of your day is free. Now, on to day 10, we'll take the group from Goal through the Hemsedal and Lærdal valleys to Borgund. Here, you'll enjoy a quick photo stop at the distinctive Borgund Stave Church before you drive through the world's longest road tunnel to Ireland. You'll arrive in the quaint fjord community of Flom, and then you'll board a cruise on the Ireland Fjord and the Narrow Fjord to Gudvangen. The Narrow Fjord is part of the Solne Fjord, which is the longest and deepest fjord in Norway. With its narrow passages surrounded by steep mountains, it's easy to see why this fjord was added to the UNESCO World Heritage Site list in 2005. And upon arrival in Gudvangen, you'll meet the motor coach and continue on to Norway's second largest city, Bergen. Now, on your last full day in Norway, you'll have a 2-hour walking tour through Bergen's historic Hanseatic Wharf. You'll learn more about this part of the Hanseatic League's trading empire from the 14th to the mid 16th century. And then your afternoon and evening is free to explore, shop, or enjoy one of the many restaurants located in the heart of Bergen. And then your escorted tour will end on Wednesday, August 4th. And it will probably feel like it went by just as quickly as that did because that's how travel works. So I did want to go over a few just general travel questions that we get a lot of times from clients, just so gives you a little bit more information and some things to be thinking about. The first off is what should I pack? Obviously, you're going to need a passport book. Should be your number one thing to pack in your suitcase. And then, of course, you want to bring clothing that you can layer. So, casual clothing is the norm for our escorted tours, and you'll want to bring good walking shoes. You'll also want to bring a jacket and perhaps a raincoat. Other things you may want to pack include an umbrella or poncho, snacks, medication, including over the counter medication like aspirin, because sometimes the strengths are different than what we have here in the US. Sunscreen, also very important, and a small day pack where you can store sweaters, a water bottle, and some snacks. And then what documents do I need? Again, passport. So you will need a valid passport book to travel to Norway. You'll want to make sure that your passport is valid for at least 6 months past your return date. So if you don't have your passport or you need to update your passport, very important, just start right now. So, how much walking is required? Now, a typical day on an escorted tour will have about 2 to 3 hours of walking, but it's usually broken up over the day. So, at some stops, you may only have a 5-minute walk, and then at others, it may be 10 to 15. So, for those with mobility issues, you always have the choice of whether or not you want to take part. And wheelchairs and motorized scooters are not usually suitable for our tours. Now, how are single travelers accommodated? So, if you're planning to travel solo on this tour, we do have a couple of options. First, you can request a single room for a supplement, or if you're open to sharing a room with another traveler, as long as there's another single traveler of the same gender that also wishes to share a room, we'll put you two in touch before the tour departs to make sure that you'll both enjoy your trip. Now, food allergies. So, breakfast at the hotel is included each morning while on tour. And this will be a buffet style breakfast with a variety of options available. And then for any dinners included at the hotel, this will also usually be a buffet. So we do ask our clients to advise of any food allergies or aversions so that we can offer substitutes when there's a fixed menu planned. And hotels and restaurants are usually very accommodating as long as they're notified prior to the group's arrival. And then, do I need a special plug? So, Scandinavia, like most of the world, runs on 220 volts, while the US runs on 110. So, if your device is dual voltage, all you'll need is a plug adapter. And so that's this black one that's down here at the bottom. But if your device only runs on 110 volt, you will need a converter, which is larger, and it typically costs around $25 to $35. So, whereas an adapter will only cost you around $5. So, it's always good to check those devices ahead of time to see which one you'll need. And so, all right. So, as I mentioned, we're still in the process of confirming some of the details of this tour. So, it isn't quite open yet for reservations. But if you're interested in this itinerary, I'd encourage you to reach out to our office and ask to be added to the interest list. You can just send us a quick email with your name and contact information, along with the note that you'd like to receive information about this tour. Once everything has been finalized, you'll be among the first to receive the complete itinerary and pricing. And at that point, you can review all of the details and decide whether or not you'd like to register. There's absolutely no obligation. It's simply a way to stay informed and have early access to tour information. So if it is something that you're interested in, I would highly encourage you to just send us a quick email or even call us, either one, and we'll get you on that list and make sure that you're one of the first ones to get that information. And then I am going to end our little conversation by looking out over Flum, which is our home of Brekkie Tours. That is where our owner originated from. So I appreciate you having me meet you guys today, and I hope I've given you some information about this tour as well as gotten you excited about traveling with this group to see Norway. So, Paula, Rebecca, if there's any questions that you might want me to answer real quick, I'm more than willing to do that. If you want to just type those in at the bottom, I can certainly try to do that. But if you guys are good and you have other things that you would like to discuss, I'll stop talking. Oh, yes. So there are a couple of days where we have some free time left open for farm visits. And of course, if there's if you have made arrangements ahead of time that you want to visit a particular farm on a certain day, just that would be something that you could let us know when you register for the tour, and we can work those details out with you directly. And so it might be that maybe you miss a sightseeing tour, so you can go and visit a family farm, or you miss a visit to a museum or something like that. But it's certainly something that we can do. We do that on our escorted tours all the time. And I went ahead and just threw our information back up there just in case anybody wanted to jot that down. But um, please feel free to visit our website if you have questions about us and who we are. And then our email address is there at the top. So, and then Paula and Rebecca, just for your information, I have recorded this presentation. So as soon as the video processes and all that kind of stuff, I can send you that information and you can share it with anybody that might not be there today or that might have missed something and just wants to review it a little bit later. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and drop out. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend, and hope to be introducing you all to Norway very soon. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.